Hi there, 8th grade. Today we got lesson 52, using unit multipliers to convert measures and convert mixed units to single unit measures. Objectives: to use unit multipliers to convert between units of measure, solve word problems that require unit multipliers, convert between mixed unit measures and single unit measures, with and without using multipliers. Alright, at this time you can do your power up. I am going to move on. Using a unit multiplier to convert measures. A unit multiplier is a ratio in which numerator and denominator are the equivalent measures but different units. Since 12 inches equal 1 foot, we can write these two unit multipliers for that relationship. We can write 12 inches over 1 foot, or we can write 1 foot over 12 inches. Both could help us depending on what we're looking for at the end. The sapling tree is 64 inches tall. Convert 64 inches to feet by multiplying 64 inches by 1 foot over 12 inches. Alright, so we have 64, and this is inches. I usually create a table. We have 1 foot, we have 12 inches. Now, the reason I know that I'm correct in which way my ratio is just like the numbers, this and this should cross reduce. Now, you might be thinking, well, we can cross reduce across here anyway. Well, we can take a 4 out, that's going to only be 3 here. 4 is going to go in there once, I believe 16. So you end up with 16 over 3 feet, which is equal to 5 1/3 feet. Alright, a certain double featured added movie is 270 minutes long. Use a unit multiplier to convert 270 minutes to hours. Okay, so we have 270 minutes. Okay, now we need to know how many hours. Well, we need to know how many minutes are in an hour. Also, we got to decide which way we're going to write it. Well, I'm going to go 60 minutes, because then my minutes cross out, and this is 1 hour. I can get rid of my zeros probably here, because I'd be taking a 10 out. Take a 3 out, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 9. 9 over 2, which is going to be about 4.5 hours. Okay? Daniel is buying refreshments for a meeting. He wonders if 4 quarts of juice is enough for 30 students. Is 4 quarts a reasonable amount of juice for the meeting? If not, suggest a reasonable quantity. Alright, so 4 quarts. There's a couple different things you can think about here. How many ounces are in a quart? Or you can think of how many quarts are in a gallon, and then maybe you know how many ounces are in a gallon. I know the gallon one very well. Okay, so I'm going to go to the gallon. So 4 quarts and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Okay, so gone, down to 1. So we got 1 gallon. In 1 gallon, there is 128 ounces. Okay? So, gallon gone. Alright. So, we know that we have 128 ounces now, but we know we have 30 students, so we're going to divide this by 30 students. When you do so, you're going to get 4.2 ounces. Typically, a smaller glass, is going to be 8 ounces. So do you think we have enough juice? I'd probably say not. I would say you guys probably are going to at least want 8 ounces. So I'd say a reasonable amount would probably be 8 quarts. I have to double it, that way we're getting about a full cup for everyone. Not to mention the fact we'd have a little room for spill. Samantha drove 100 miles in 1 hour and 45 minutes. How many hours did it take Samantha to drive 100 miles? Well, this one is a little bit tricky in the fact that it's already kind of gave you it, but you don't want any minutes left. So, 45 minutes is going to leave you, I'm going to try to change that portion to 1 hour and 60 minutes. And that's going to be 1 hour. When you end up doing this, you can take a 15 out, you get 4 and 3. So you'd really have 1 hour and 3/4 hours. Because you already had an hour, and then I converted this to hours. So that would be your answer on this one. Noel ran 1 mile in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. To find Noel's time in minutes, express the result as a mixed number. Okay? So, and as a decimal. So, you have 7. Alright, how many seconds are in a minute? Well, you're going to say 60. Well, 30 over 60 is 1/2, right? Which also can be wrote by 7.5, and this would be minutes. Okay? To measure a room for carpeting, Juan covers the length and width of the room from feet to inches to yards. A room is 3 feet 6 inches. How long is how many yards? How many yards is the room? Let's go that route. Alright, so you'd have 13.5, and this would be feet, because 6 inches is 1/2 foot. Okay? They have 3 feet in 1 yard. Reduce. You're probably going to get 4 to go in there, so you might have to do division here. 3, 4 goes in there. 12, 1. Bring your decimal up. 5. Give me that. Now we're at 0. So it should be about 4.5 yards. Okay? Go ahead and do your practice set. Obviously, it's part of your homework. There's your homework.